This video here we're going to be looking at equations with brackets. So we've looked at equations regarding fractions, but now we want to expand on that and look at how we use brackets or solve equations that are using brackets. So by the end of this lesson I want to make sure that you know how to do these three things. So how to expand brackets to make it easier, how to simplify like terms, and we've looked at that term previously in algebra, so make sure you recap on that, and also how to solve equations by expanding on brackets first. So at the end of the video, come back to these three things, make sure you can show me that you can do those. First off, you're going to get you write down these key parts. So to expand brackets, you're going to use the distributive law. Now, this distributive law states that anything that is multiplied by whatever's in the brackets is the same as saying, for example, 3 times in brackets 3 plus 4 is basically saying same as 3 times x, and then 3 times 4 is also 12. It's just creating a distributing those factors there, and we'll look at that a bit later on. You also need to know the definition of like terms. So they are terms that contain exactly the same pronumerals and can be collected to simplify expressions. So for example, if we have here 3x plus 4 plus 2x, I know that I can combine the two numbers here of 3x and 2x. If I combine them, I can make a simpler expression, which is 5x plus 4. And finally, equations involving brackets can be solved by first expanding the brackets and then collecting the like terms. I'm going to do an example of that later on. So firstly, to understand the distributive law, it says that multiplying a number by a group of numbers added together is the same as doing each multiplication separately. So if we look at this example here, we have 3 times in brackets 2 plus 4. So here is our equation. We have 3, okay, 1, 2, 3 times, we've got a group of 2 and we've got a group of 4. That is basically the same as saying 3 times 2 and 3 times 4. It's just putting them together. So if we separate them, that's what we call the distributive law. What we'll do now is I'm going to show you how to answer these questions and how we use these rules and laws to help us expand or work on equations with brackets. So first off, what we're going to do here is just expand these. So I have 4 times in brackets x plus 3. What I am doing is multiplying the number outside the brackets by both of those in there. So I should have 4x plus 4 times 3, which I know is 12. So I've expanded these brackets to get that answer. If I look at the next one here, I have 6 times q minus 4. Again, I just multiply the number on the outside of the brackets by the two variables inside the bracket, which would give me 6 times q is 6q minus 6 times 4, which is 24. Now, what if I have a pronumeral or a like term on the inside of my brackets, like question C? What I do is I just simply multiply again the number on the outside by the inside. 5 times 3a is basically saying 5 times 3, which is 15. I need to make sure I add that pronumeral. And then 5 times 4, which is 20. So that's how you do how to expand those brackets. Now let's look at how we simplify like terms. So remember that like terms help us simplify a particular equation. So if I look here, like terms are terms that contain exactly the same pronumerals and can be collected to simplify expressions. So what I have here is an expanded expression, and I want to simplify this. So I'm going to look for the things that are the same. So I know I have here 2x, and I also have an x over here. So 2x plus x is basically the same as saying 3 times x. So I can combine these two, which would be 3x, and then I'm left with plus 5. So that is how we simplify the like terms. I'll do another example for you here, and I'll show you how we do, again, collect those like terms. And in this case, we might have some negative numbers. So scan through, look for the similar like terms. So I've got a 3a, I've got plus 8a, and I also have a minus 2a. So I can combine these here. So I have 3a plus 8a minus 2a, which will equal 3 plus 8 is 11, minus 2 will equal 9a. And then I've got these like terms here of plus 2 plus 5. So 2 plus 5 equals 7. So I have 9a plus 7. That's how I've simplified that equation. So instead of it being this long expression, I've been able to simplify that. I'll move on now to the last part, and I'll just create a bit of space here for you. Alright, so now we're going to actually combine those, and so we're going to have to expand the brackets and also solve by collecting like terms. And this is how we do this part here. So this helps us sort of solve and we'll determine what the pronumeral is. So the first thing you need to do is expand the brackets. So I'm going to multiply this by the number outside by the numbers inside the bracket, which would be 3x plus 6 equals 18. So now I can easily solve this using the balance method. So I know that because I've expanded the brackets, this formula here is easier to work out. So instead of plus 6, I'm going to use the balance method. I'm going to minus 6 that side. So I have 3x equals 12. Now if I'm timesing by 3 here, I need to divide by 3 both sides, which gives me x equals 4. Okay, so that's how you expand, simplify, and then bring it in. We'll move on to the next task. For B, I have 7 equals 7 in brackets 4q minus 3. First we need to expand the brackets. So we start with 7 times 4, which equals 28q, minus 7 times 3, which equals 21. I can then go those procedures there. So the first thing I'll do is I need to add 21 both sides, which equals 28 equals 28q. So I've multiplied by 28, so I need to divide by 28 both sides. Therefore 1 equals q. Alright, last one coming up. Alright, so this one is important because you're going to learn how to expand and then simplify like terms. So first thing I need to do is expand those brackets. So this would be 3b plus 15 equals 4b equals 29. Now I know I have some like terms here, so 3b and 4b. So I'm just going to combine them together. So 3b plus 4b is 7b plus 15 equals 29. And then I can simply go through now my process of working out how to solve this. So I'm going to minus 15 from this side, minus 15 from this side. Therefore 7b will equal 14. If I've times by 7 here, I need to divide by 7 both sides. Therefore b equals 2. So check that you understand the following things: that you can expand brackets, you can simplify those like terms, and then you can solve equations by expanding and then simplifying. Thanks guys.